El Salvador has struck a deal with crypto firms Blockstream and iFinix to advance its efforts in the Bitcoin market. The country is set to issue so-called Bitcoin bonds to accelerate hyper-Bitcoinization and bring about a new financial system on top of Bitcoin, according to Blockstream. El Salvador could issue $1 billion worth of Bitcoin bonds via Blockstream's liquid network. The proceeds of the bond issuance could support the development of volcano-powered Bitcoin mining. This bond offering is something we think will be attractive to a wide range of investors ranging from cryptocurrency investors, investors seeking yield, hodlers, and ordinary people, Blockstream said in a blog post. El Salvador, which deemed Bitcoin legal tender in the country earlier this year, is set to grant Bitfinex's parent company the country's first crypto license. Finix is focusing on helping the government of writing a digital tokenized securities law, and the government will provide to iFinix the first license in that new regulatory framework so that the ES government will issue and launch their volcano mining bond on Bitfinex securities, Paulo Ardoino of Bitfinex said in a statement to the block. El Salvador President Nayib Bukele said this past summer that he would leverage the country's volcanoes to mine Bitcoin via 100% clean, 100% renewable, zero-emissions energy. The country's commitment to Bitcoin and blockchain technology in the financial system might be hard for investors with a more traditional approach to investing. The nation's USD-backed bonds saw a new all-time low after El Salvador's president revealed plans for Bitcoin-backed bonds, Bloomberg reports. El Salvador's dollar-denominated bonds have fallen to an all-time low as the Central American nation's debt started trading in distressed territory this week. El Salvador's United States dollar bonds fell to $0.644 on Monday, November 22, following the weekend news that the Central American country would use Bitcoin bonds to fund its Bitcoin City initiative. Dollar bonds have fallen steadily since April when they topped $1.10 according to Bloomberg data. A dollar-denominated bond is a bond issued outside of the U.S. by a foreign company or government that is denominated in USD instead of local currencies. Monday's drop resulted in the country's debt becoming among the worst performers in global trading, Bloomberg reported. Investors are concerned that President Nayib Bukele has shut out the International Monetary Fund, IMF, from assisting the nation with development funds. The modernization of El Salvador's economy and implementation of blockchain technology have not been welcomed warmly by investors and citizens, who have repeatedly criticized the president's decision. Natalie Marshak, managing director of investment banking company Stifel Nicolaus, commented that this announcement cements the anything but that IMF path, before adding that bonds are falling as the market reassesses possible recovery value lower on the unpredictability of policies. Currently, that nation's debt is moving into stressful territory for investors. El Salvador's bonds need to gain 1,168 points in extra yield to become more profitable than U.S. Treasury papers. But at the same time, the government's decision to release tokenized bonds may give the country a chance to gain more funds from investors who are willing to take more risks for a greater reward. The majority of financial analysts agree on the shady future of the country's economy and national debt, since the decision to collect funds via tokenized bonds is a sign of unclear strategic financial planning and doubling down on the economy. The Bitcoin bond will pay 6.5% annual interest in addition to 50% of El Salvador's Bitcoin gains once its initial investment costs for its mining infrastructure have been recovered. Dividends will be paid in USD or Tether, according to Samson Mo, Chief Strategy Officer of Blockstream. Mo believes that the Bitcoin bond will be an alternative way for institutional investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin without having to hold Bitcoin themselves. It will also be a way for investors to help El Salvador develop more rapidly. Mo, who has been working with the El Salvador government on developing the Bitcoin bond, told Bloomberg TV on Tuesday, "We're trying to structure this in a way that people can present the Bitcoin bond, to boards and directors as a normal bond because it is a normal bond. It just happens to have a large chunk of Bitcoin tied in. In response to Mo's interview with Bloomberg, popular Bitcoin advocate Anthony Pompliano predicted that they will be ridiculously oversubscribed. El Salvador has been in talks with the IMF for much of 2021 over a possible $1.3 billion loan. Those talks could be fading into obscurity, as President Bukele has decided to fund more local initiatives such as school building with Bitcoin over USD. The IMF issued a concluding statement regarding El Salvador's funding request on Monday. Although El Salvador's economy has rebounded quickly from the pandemic, fiscal deficits and high public debt services are creating bigger holes in the services the country can provide, it stated. The report added that efforts to improve financial inclusion and raise growth are welcome, but risks arising from Bitcoin as a legal tender, the new payments ecosystem, and trading in Bitcoin should be addressed. Because of those risks, Bitcoin should not be used as a legal tender. Staff recommends narrowing the scope of the Bitcoin law and urges strengthening the regulation and supervision of the new payment ecosystem. El Salvador is planning to build an entire city based on the largest cryptocurrency Bitcoin, President Nayib Bukele announced to a gathering of Bitcoin enthusiasts on Saturday at Bitcoin Week in El Salvador. El Salvador's Bitcoin city would be funded with the issuance of a $1 billion Bitcoin bond. The city will be located along the Gulf of Fonseca near a volcano. Bitcoin City, as planned by the El Salvador president, will be laid out in a circle, and in the city center will be a plaza that will be host to a huge Bitcoin symbol. The city will be built near the Concagua volcano to take advantage of the country's geothermal energy to power both the city and cryptocurrency mining and energy-consuming process of solving complex mathematical calculations day and night to verify and add crypto coins to the blockchain network. It is worth noting that El Salvador is already running a pilot Bitcoin mining venture at another geothermal power plant beside the Tecapa volcano. According to Bukele, the residents of Bitcoin City won't have to pay any income, property, capital gains, or even payroll taxes. The city would be built with attracting foreign investment in mind. Besides, the only tax collected there will be the value-added tax, half of which will be used to pay the municipal bonds and the rest for municipal infrastructure and maintenance. Bukele pointed out there would be no property, income, or municipal taxes and the city would have zero carbon dioxide emissions, as per a report by AFP.